We have the technology to destroy all Zika mosquitoes. By Antonio Regalado from Technology Review. A controversial genetic technology able to wipe out the mosquito carrying the Zika virus will be available within months, scientists say. The technology, called a gene drive, was demonstrated only last year in yeast cells, fruit flies, and a species of mosquito that transmits malaria. It uses the gene-snipping technology CRISPR to force a genetic change to spread through a population as it reproduces. 3 U.S. labs that handle mosquitoes, 2 in California and 1 in Virginia, say they are already working toward a gene drive for Aedes aegypti, the type of mosquito blamed for spreading Zika. If deployed, the technology could theoretically drive the species to extinction. We could have it easily within a year, says Anthony James, a molecular biologist at the University of California, Irvine. Any release of a gene drive in the wild would be hotly debated by ecologists. So far, no public health agency has thrown its weight behind the idea. But with Zika sowing fear across Latin America and beyond, the technology is likely to get a closer look. 4 weeks ago, we were trying to justify why we are doing this. Now they're saying, get the lead out, says James. It's absolutely going to change the conversation. The Zika virus is now spreading explosively in the Americas, according to the World Health Organization, which last week declared a global health emergency. While the virus causes only a mild rash, the epidemic is frightening because of a suspected link to 4,000 children born in Brazil with microcephaly, or shrunken heads. There's no easy way to stop Zika. There is no vaccine, and developing one could take several years. Brazil is sending 220,000 soldiers door to door to check for mosquitoes breeding in old tires and swimming pools. Women are being asked to delay pregnancy. Gene drive technology could be ready sooner than a vaccine, but it's no quick fix either, scientists caution. Self-annihilating mosquitoes will first have to undergo tests in the lab, then perhaps on an island, before they could be released more broadly. Regulations and public debate could stretch the timeline out for years. The Aedes aegypti mosquito is not native to the Americas. It's an invasive species that is now found from Florida to Argentina, and whose range could expand with climate change. In addition to the Zika virus, its bite also transmits the chikungunya and dengue viruses. Dengue fever causes 100 million people to fall ill each year. Because of the extent of the problems Aedes aegypti causes, some scientists favor using advanced technology to drive the species to extinction, at least in the Americas. These mosquitoes truly have little value, says Zach Edelman, an entomologist at Virginia Tech who works with Aedes aegypti. People in favor of eradication are going to be able to plead their case. While gene drive technology could save human lives, the feature that makes it so powerful that mosquitoes themselves spread it also raises concerns over unforeseen ecological consequences. What if the DNA change somehow jumps to other insects? If things were to go wrong, would scientists be able to recall it? An expert panel of the National Academy of Sciences in Washington, D.C., is expected to release a report in May on responsible use of the technology. I don't think there's a real consensus yet on gene drives, says Keegan Sawyer, director of the study. There are differing camps. Todd Quicken, an environmental scientist who studies governance of new biotechnology for the Woodrow Wilson Center in Washington, D.C., says even an invasive species might be filling a useful biological niche. I don't think the entire ecosystem is going to collapse if you removed an invasive, but there is a lot of interconnectedness between species, especially in the tropics, he says. My concern is more the ecological interactions. The technology is still extraordinarily new. The systems work because scientists are able to weave gene-editing machinery directly into an insect's DNA. That way, instead of a given gene passing to half of a mosquito's offspring, as would normally happen, it spreads to all of them, a phenomenon dubbed super inheritance.